So my name is Osset Shakur. I am the local branch president of the New York InPDUM branch. Hopefully you want to introduce yourself?
Uhuru. Huru is Swahili for
freedom.
Yep. And I am Fofi. My new last name for some of the people is Alkebulan, and I am the Economic Development Coordinator for the InPDUM International Organization. Uhuru.
And we want to salute our international president, President Colonialvirus. So the reason we're having this virtual open mic is just because we know that the people, we can't go to the clubs, everyone is shut down, we're home, we're quarantined, but we definitely want to take advantage of this time. Even though we're isolated, we want to still stay unified and connected. And so we know that the people love poetry. So we wanted to extend that opportunity to our people to gather online and definitely celebrate them. So we're gonna have everyone that's here, which is about 4 or 5 different people perform. Each of you are gonna get 5 minutes to perform, and then after you share your piece or pieces, we're asking that you share a brief explanation on why you chose that piece, why it was important to you. And after that, we'll have the following performance. And then Fofi, I'm gonna send it over to you.
All right. Now, this is also a fundraiser for the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. We'll be accepting donations throughout the live stream, and no amount is too small and no amount is too large. Every little bit helps. This is gonna be fun tonight. Fun tonight. And since this young lady has about maybe 15 minutes left on her phone, we're gonna start this off with Miss Ill Skills, Uhuru.
Oh. Hey, Idaru Umana. Nigerian American background. Been doing poetry for shit all my life. I don't know what else to say.
Okay,
that's the only thing that pertains to this. That's the only thing that pertains to this. All the other stuff is irrelevant.
Okay, do yourself.
You know, keeping it real. All right, so how shit's changed. What a difference a day makes, not in a good way. Nowadays, you can't find this without folks thinking you got coronavirus. I'm on the days of overcrowded places, stores and airports, tourist areas, concerts and clubs, getting your hair and nails done, a massage, handshakes and hugs, cheek kisses, or just standing near someone. Second guess everything. Shit got real at what seemed like overnight. And you think you won't see it in your lifetime because we're so advanced. That's only something you hear about in school or see in the movies. But now life is so surreal. This uncomfortable space, I don't like how it feels. The world's falling ill and society is breaking down. But I hope we reveal the zen and balance the yin and yang of it all and gets built back up stronger than before and expose the cracks and even the playing field, because when something can come through like the Grim Reaper and take its reckoning on man and womankind of all alike, it makes you speechless, and to try to wrap your mind around the gravity of it all. Mind-blowing to say the least. A real worry in the background in the midst of this, of being positive and doing everything in your power to be responsible and be accountable for not contributing to the problem. If anything, it shows how connected we really are and how small the world really is. It's not 6 degrees anymore, no more than 4. And with social distancing, it's cut in half, down to 2. Just me and you, your mama, and that's about it. Not because it's any love laws, just bare to the bones. If anything, it's because I love you and I don't want to expose you. Now we have to find creative ways to stay connected. Check in on your loved ones. In the not so distant past, we would consume our thoughts times and actions with trivial things and people, or even working your life away. It makes you value the things that you've taken for granted and some things that's been taken away. But for the remainder of it all, cherish it, because you never know what the future holds or what the new norm looks like. But one thing I do know is what it won't be anymore. And that's a good and bad thing depending on your perspective. Maybe in a society where personal space can be intruded upon in numerous ways, social distancing is the perfect remedy. And better hygiene amongst people is always a plus, because not everyone was on the same page with that. Children are actually playing outside, and parents are able to spend some form of quality time, but I hate that it had to come in this fashion, like a coked out, drunk Debo looking disrespectful party crasher that fucked it up for everybody. Cussing folks out while telling granny she got a nice rack on her. We like, get this motherfucker out of here. Stupid motherfucker cleared the party. Shit ended hella early. We shall see what it's all for. As they say, everything happens for a reason. Maybe somebody roofied the punch or put laxatives in the brownies.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Can't snap, y'all.
Thank you.
I can't snap.
you can't.
But,
How
yeah.
you
You
pull?
can hear me. Hey.
That was so good.
Thank
right.
you.
I only snap with my left hand for some reason.
You it's skills.
Yep.
Tell us about what you got going on with your, how can we find you? How can people find you?
Shit, go to my business website, I guess. Anything Gold Star Gallery at Gold Star Gallery. I mean, that's just my business stuff. You know, y'all can buy some handcrafted products and joy juices and joy berry. But as far as the poor,
you know, ain't nobody
like,
touring now.
Poetry is just all right, that was all. Like, ain't nobody touring doing nothing except stuff like this, which is good. Keeps people connected. Like I said, you got to find creative ways to stay connected. So.
Right.
All right, great.
I was really feeling that. I mean,
thank you.
I think one.
I can't hear you, Dexter.
You can't hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of going in and out, but yeah.
I hear you.
I know. I was just saying that.
Okay.
One thing, like, of the many things, I feel like this whole quarantine pandemic has taught us to really appreciate like real human connection.
Like and real shit.
Yeah.
Like this shit that you know take for granted. We'll be like, damn, you know, going through the list without actually wrote that like maybe earlier this week, just on some just inspirational of the shit that's going on in the world. Trying to get that lump out of my throat and that knot out of my chest, you know, about everything. So writing always helps. Yeah,
all right.
Shit ain't the same.
Right. That is true. Things will be changed forever.
Like, I was like, yeah.
All right.
And it's so important.
Thank you.
I think it's so important, like you said, with everybody in the house. I know on a regular, we all just perceive reality in a different way. And so we all are living different lives because we're processing things differently, you know. But the thing about poetry is that it really gives us an opportunity to sit with our thoughts and be able to share and connect with people and express things that sometimes go unsaid. So I think that it's important for us to share, and I appreciate you sharing that at this time. It was really dope.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Misinterpretation.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, she was a baby when she started with us, y'all.
Right.
Then she grew up, got married, got a baby. Misinterpretation.
Life.
Would you like to take the mic and run with it?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I
How
am.
did you gone? Okay.
What's up?
I am Misinterpretation, poetically known, Flora Brownie, or poetically known as Misinterpretation. I've been on the spoken word scene for about 20 plus years or so. Started out at Legacy Books and Cafe, when it was down in the loop next to that Church's Chicken. And that's where I met Kofi, Idara, all of them. I looked up to them as a newbie. So it just so happened the universe brought us together.
Right.
It's my craft, and I got to travel with them and being a part of Soul Vibe Collective. But thank you, Kofi, for giving me this opportunity to do something virtually. I did do a live performance this past Thursday. I'm going to do another one next Thursday. But enough talking. I'm going to do a piece. And I selected this one because I hadn't done it in a while. I dedicated to Asada Shakur. Then I saw the sister on here, Asset Shakur. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and dust this one off a little more and share it with you all tonight.
Okay.
You've been trying to conquer me since my involuntary journey to your stolen land. You can't stand for me to tell the truth. You can't stand for me to give sight to the blind. You've been trying to conquer me with your federal BS investigation and your conspiratorial intelligent architects. You've been trying to shut me down, take me out, but I will continue to enlighten my people about the criminal acts you employ in this capitalistic society. I've encountered the intelligence you've used to program the minds of the ignorant. I realize you don't want people to know the real lies you've used to support your gluttonous habit for green paper, glorifying your most notorious criminals. You terrorize my revolutionary sister for knowing more than she should have, and speaking on behalf of those you've exploited on that New Jersey turnpike. You saw Asata and you shot her with the intent of taking her last breath, but no weapon formed against her prospered. She still had some left. In and out of jail cells for phony crimes, handcuffed to a hospital bed, nearly paralyzed, tortured, and interrogated, constantly seeking to give her time in your legalized system of slavery. You got your conviction, but it didn't last long. My revolutionary sister became energized with the spirit of Sister Harriet and fled your oppressive caged institution. You snatched out the lives of many of my revolutionary brothers and sisters. You've crushed my rebels into an underground existence. You've done much dirty work and under the table trickery. Now you're fighting extremely hard to keep your skeleton a mystery. You've used your weapons to conceal the truth, to expand your power structure, to continue living your American dream. But American dream of taking a dose of their own narcotics. You failed to see that what goes around, karma backs around again, got the nation caught up and fired up over recent acts of terrorism. But what is terrorism? Let's break down terrorism. Terror is him. Terror is him. Terror is him that caused families to live in fear of night riders and burning crosses. Terror is him that brutally murdered Emmett Till. Terror is him that used dogs and water hoses to sell in mass marches. Terror is him that gave Native Americans smallpox-infected blankets. Terror is him that wears blue suits, badges, and billy clubs to attack young Black boys. Terror is him that used the Tuskegee experiment as a genocide to destroy brothers. Terror is him that massacred hundreds of Blacks in Florida and Greenwood, Mississippi. Terror is him that works in the Pentagon on Capitol Hill and lives in the White House. Terror is him. Terror is him. You saw Asata and you shot her. That's that piece.
All right.
Okay.
Woo! I can't snap, but y'all can snap for me.
Oh.
Yep. Bam.
Yeah,
She got him.
as always.
Now, yeah.
I learned from the best.
Misinterpretation.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us tell us in your words where that came from, where that poem came from.
That poem came about during the time of 9/11, and all of the propaganda was going around about terrorism and this, that, and the other. But many people fail to realize, and I'm not speaking radical, I'm just stating historical observations and facts, that acts of terrorism, or what one would classify as acts of terrorism, has been a part of this country's history for quite so long. So why is what out of uproar now? I guess it's because the forces that be got a taste of their own medicine. So I wrote that poem as a reminder that those types of behavior are the thread that binds the country together, you know? Nobody realizes all of the horrible acts that went on during chattel slavery to brothers and sisters. So we crying about this, that, and the other. My heart goes out to the families that were affected at that time, but I think about Assata Shakur, and when I read that autobiography, okay, what's the difference? Not trying to be too harsh, but that's where that piece is.
I know what you're saying, shit.
Let me tell you, girl, revolution is the truth. And it's not being harsh, it's the truth. And that's the bullshit.
True.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's the stuff we went through. And this is the stuff we still going through, because you know what? This we're dealing with now, this is genocide.
Right.
This is genocide. This is genocide. And we're gonna stop it. We got to, you have to pull together, just like Soul Vibe did, and make things happen. You can do many things with a fist. But if you just try to get it done as an individual, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So that's why I learned you have to join organizations so you can have a voice that really counts.
An elder told me quite some time ago, that's the role of the artist, to interpret the human condition and be the voice for the masses as to what's going on at the time. You know, you can say in one poem what a million sermons or a million lectures can't say. So,
Right,
Yep.
that's the truth.
All right, all set. What you got to add for this?
Man,
Yeah.
that was powerful. But I think I just, I unite with what was said before. Poetry is such a powerful thing. It's just, I think it's, when poetry makes me think of, the voice of the people and the power in telling the truth. And then even more so, I really think about poetry in regards to just ancestral memory, how important it was for us historically, like how we use poetry, not just poetry, but song and verse and just arranging words and things like that, how we use that for our survival and for us to thrive. And it's powerful. Like, that whole piece was powerful. It's something you can put in place of a newspaper article, and it can affect people and inform people probably a lot more effectively. Yeah.
All right. You know what? It's time. We didn't heard the voices of two of the women, and now you ready to hear from one of the guys? We have two guys with us. One is a comrade MUAMBI.
4%.
Comrade MUAMBI.
4%. I can relate. For one more person.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Right.
Y'all can see me?
Uhuru.
Yes.
Yo. How y'all feeling?
Good.
Awesome.
Right on. Let me just pull this up real quick, because I'm gonna do something behind the beat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I said we gotta reach for the stars. African children together we go far. I said we gotta reach for the stars. African nations stand up and take charge. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. These filthy capitalists, they ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. They ain't got nothing for us. These filthy imperialists ain't got nothing for us. Really though, we face that genocide. It's genocide. Every organization, every institution, every government, every constitution got us on the bottom, criminalized death for destitution, and they school system ain't shit. They snatch your children out the house. I'm down to smack a cracker in the mouth. Demonize, regurgitate everything we about. I'm tired of all the pain, guilt, and the shame. Occupied, colonized, parasites to blame. Prisons and the military, watch your step. My auntie died up in the hospital where she took her last breath. Cousin tied up in the bubble cause that house is fucked. We gon' ride for you, baby, and we won't get stuck. Africans are genocide. Arrest the CPS, burn the system down in the colonial quest. It's genocide. We gotta reach for the stars. African children, together we go far. I said we gotta reach for the stars. African nations, stand up and take charge. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This filthy capitalist system ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. Reparations ain't got nothing for us. These filthy imperialists ain't got nothing for us. Oh shit, okay, my bad.
It's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
Check this out. Reparations, the demand for repair of damage done from the first offense in Africa, everything after under the sun. Every ritual, every language, every mineral, every soul. They've been robbing for 600 years. It's everything they owe. The question has been answered: who gets paid across the globe? Every black man, woman, and child, every hood, every ghetto. It's the only way white people can be a part of humanity. And it's simple mathematics. I know you understand me. Restore resources to the African revolution in this colonial crisis. Taking our shit, only solution. African workers in arms, housing local establishments, corporations and farms, schools and hospitals, they all owe. It's a material solution. We ain't gotta get spiritual. We shutting down these Democrats and these corny autocrats. We charging for artifacts and museums in cities with skyscrapers and train tracks. Come on. We gotta reach for the stars. African children, we gotta go. I said we gotta reach for the stars. African nations, stand up and take charge. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. These filthy capitalists, they ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. This dirty Babylon system ain't got nothing for us. Cause they ain't got nothing for us. These filthy imperialists ain't got nothing for us. Yeah, that's my
All
little
right.
joint.
All
Hey,
right.
comrade,
Okay,
tell everybody who
let's
you
go.
are and what you're doing. What you do.
My name is MUAMBI TANGU, and I represent. That's what I do. Specifically, international leadership coordinator for the International People's Democratic Movement, which basically means that my job is to make sure that we have a process to bring people into the organization, and when bringing people into the organization, make sure that people stay. So basically recruitment and retention. And then I'm the international or the local president in San Diego.
Uhuru. That was dope. I was vibing with that. You know.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
MUAMBI, do you want to speak to what inspired you to write that piece?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. So one of the things that I like to do is take these industry beats where you got these artists that are talking about pure trash and pure garbage, and then put something on it that's going to speak to our material interest and our revolutionary advancement. And so that song came out. It's called Chase the Money, and I thought that was the stupidest shit that I heard in a long time. So basically I was like sitting there, and my mom, when I was a kid, my mom would always tell me to reach for the stars. So I was like sitting there one day listening to that song. The beat is smashing. And then I was just thinking in my head, we gotta reach for the stars. African children, together we go far. And I was like, oh shit, I think I got something. And so what I ended up doing is the first verse is about genocide, Africans charged genocide. And the second verse is about reparations. And so the goal of the whole song, and that's what I'm saying, it's not done. My last verse is gonna be about socialism, but the goal of that song is to really, infuse African internationalism into this, this mainstream culture, so that people can, be rocking to the, you know, they hear and oh, but then it's like, I'm down to smack a cracker in the mouth, you know, like, oh shit, you know. So the inspiration is to advance African internationalism through culture, you know, through hip hop culture.
Gotcha. All right.
On my
Yeah.
name.
I was no, I was saying, you know, that I was gonna share a little something. It's not something I wrote, you know. I'm not a poet, but it was a piece by this poet that I'd always liked. So I was gonna share that. If y'all don't mind, y'all poets.
We don't mind. You gave props to the person that wrote it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to steal his work. Okay. So this is a piece by Don L. Lee, aka Hakeem Adabuti.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was cool, super cool, ultra black, a tan/purple, had a beautiful shade. He had a double natural that would put the sister to shame. His dashikis were tailor-made and his beads were imported seashells. He was triple hip. His tikis were hand carved out of ivory and came express from the motherland. He would greet you in Swahili and say goodbye in Yoruba. Man, he was so cool and intelligent, cool, ultra cool, icebox cool. So cool, his wine didn't even need to be cool. He was air conditioned cool. Cool was so cool, he made me cool. Cool was so cool, we nicknamed him Refrigerator. Cool, so cool, he didn't know after Detroit, Newark, Oakland, and Chicago, we had to remind cool that to be black is to be very hot. That's the poem.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
That piece always
Who's
does.
the author?
Hakeem Adabuti.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why did you? What made you want to share that piece?
Yeah, so I chose that piece because I thought, did a really good job in kind of breaking down how, to be black is more than some cool aesthetic. It's more than just being smooth or fly. When it came to like the actual black experience, like you said, it's like, despite all that cool stuff, to be black is hot, it's real, it's serious out here. It's not just some look. It's not just the style and the afro, dashiki, because people come out and they say they're the blackest thing ever because they wear dashiki or they had a medallion or they got the dreadlocks or the fro or whatever. When it came to what being black really pertained and what our reality really was something that was hot and something that was dangerous, something that could hurt you. And I thought that was real. So I really appreciated that piece for that reason.
Yeah.
Black is to be very hot.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Cool, bro. That was dope.
Yeah. Makeda, would you like to give us an offering, young lady?
He got on
What's up, Makeda?
Are you on mute?
You was over there asleep for about 7 seconds with the baby.
You hear me? I was for real. I had to checked out. Still bring it to me. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'll
tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am Makeda, also known as Therapy Tonin. And I think everybody knows me here, but I am a member of InPDUM, and I came into a revolutionary organization behind the incidents of October 9th, 2014, and the whole incident with Mike Brown. But
yes,
having felt this encroaching energy that was coming upon us behind the Trayvon Martin case being handled the way it was, even before Mike Brown came about. It's like it was something, it was the writing on the wall. You knew it was about to get worse. So this is my beginning from the organization standpoint. I've been doing poetry for years, in and out. I make appearances. I don't. It's just kind of like that with me. And currently, I am taking a master herbalist class to be able to add to my contribution inside the revolution.
Yeah.
To be able to keep us out of these hospitals, because this ain't for us. This is not for us. So in the future, I'm looking for people actually to help me with being growers of herb gardens, and also to support support the movement by contributing to, like, I'm gonna need bottles and stuff. Like, I can't do all of it by myself. So I'm looking for different aspects, people to come in and do some work and actually be able to take the preparations that I make the recipes for and be able to create and turn out these same preparations wherever they are, because it's not gonna be just me. I can't do it by myself. Like, we need it everywhere. And we need as best as possible to get our.
If you can get this book, if you don't have this book, please get it.
Okay. Yeah. We have to be able to stay away from behind enemy lines in such a way that they can do whatever they choose to do to us once we land under their care. Once we're exclusively under their care, we're not, we don't have enough foresight to actively care for ourselves. So this is what I'm working on now, to be able to bring back, as I transition to coming back into full-time, fighting. This is my reason right here. I'm holding. So, it's real for me. It's real for me. So the piece that I'm gonna do is it's an older piece, but I'll tell you about it afterward. And it goes. I had a meltdown today because I couldn't reach you. Couldn't make you realize the world treats us like it does because we won't stop them from doing what they do. I mean, it's an eye for an eye, right? So why are we the only ones who can't see that our lives only matter to the bottom line of all nations? Fuck our liberties, civil or otherwise. I had a meltdown today because another name was added to the rolls of slain Black souls whose parents will seek justice and futility. The rolls of Colonialvirus, under a system of colonizing captors who soaked their ivory hands in generations of our ancestors' blood. So this should come as no surprise. We should be organized better to answer this madness by now. The power-drunk perception of murderers cannot provide justice. Recompense does. But some of us have grounds to stand on with no cause, while others still stand on sand and allow that to govern access to their righteous indignation. As we tread the concrete of familiar oppressed streets with signs in our hand, just remember who screamed at the top of their voices. We've got to organize. We need a plan. I had a meltdown today, sobbing uncontrollably as my son caught me in the throes of one of many episodes and asked if I was okay. And I had to admit that I am not, and have not been since I laid eyes on my firstborn. I had to explain to him what ill pressure could conjure ocean water in the form of weighted tears from the corners of my eyes. Parenthood as an African visits the certainty that every indigenous fetus winning the race in the womb will face uncertainty of survival, being born a slave from its slave parents. A moment of education on how no one ever taught me this, but I mourned my children's birth as though the event were in reverse. Somehow my heart understood the trauma never written into history books, and innately knew they'd be either victim or victim, and grieved the journey from which, upon conception, I could not spare them, lest I end their lives myself. I had to tell him that worry keeps me company from the time my eyes open till they open again. then speak from the other side of my mouth, telling him not to be afraid to live. But I would have only allowed him to witness the fight in me if he hadn't crept up on my tears and caught me in that meltdown. I had a meltdown today when all the pressure I faced came a calling. Said my name in varying tones, textures, and cadence. Tried pushing me off a square I swore allegiance to before I knew what mental illness really was. Nah, the better parts of me are reserved for a fight to preserve us all. As I consider the setbacks of every warrior that ever was and every mile they still had to march beyond every wound they had incurred, when I think about the weight of the single tear I saw pushed from the leader of the African nation's eye, how often he must want to cry. And maybe he does, but the people depend on him. Therefore, he's got no time for meltdowns. So neither do I. And that's that piece.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
Woo!
Yes, ma'am.
That's nice.
Now what we know where it came from, but how did it come about?
I'll be bothered. Look, I'll be bothered deep. Just thinking about, well, like I said, in that particular piece, my son, you know how long me and Dan been out the house. You know, it's been about 2 years now. But he had walked up on me at one point, and I'm like most guys, I tend to cry by myself. Sometimes it's just like a constant. Sometimes it's it's just I'm so full till I can't stop it. Sometimes it's I'm actively upset about something, but rarely do I ever cry in front of somebody else. And so he caught me, and I couldn't stop it. Like I started moving, like really tripping, and I started thinking about, we only really get this much time to grieve. We gotta pick up all our shit and keep it moving, keep it pushing, because the fight, like this shit is coming for us regardless.
Yes.
So you can stop and cry if you want to, and break down, or but when you break down, you in the way of whatever's coming at you. You're not on this work. You gotta somehow have your moment. But you gotta be able to pick it up and keep it moving. And those who are fighting, and those who are planning, and those who are organizing are always in the movement of, losing and thinking about today, in particular. Man. And just hearing that President Columbia's father passed, and how in the face, and under her name, and in the face of her position, she still has to keep it moving. That's real. That's the reality of being in this struggle.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I think about it, it's like giving credence to both sides of it. Like, I know we have to keep fighting, but at the same time, it don't hurt no less. You know what I'm saying? So every now and then we have that, we have that moment. But that was it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot, comrade. That's a lot. Mr. Sir Irving Williams from Atlanta.
I'm from St. Louis. I live in Atlanta.
You in St. Louis?
No, I'm from St. Louis. I live in Atlanta. I ain't from Atlanta. Okay.
Tell us about you. Tell the people who you are and what you up to, and then do your piece.
All right, my name is Sir Irving Williams. Can you all hear me? Because my microphone on my computer kind of changed.
I can hear you.
All right. My name is Sir Irving James Williams III. I am an educator, a writer, a poet, a director, a producer, a teacher, all that stuff that Miss Fofi gonna tell you as soon as I finish talking. And yeah, that's basically it. All right, so I wrote this piece because I was watching, I was working on a TV show about my life right now, and it was a scene I was writing with about my mother, and it was how my mother was in there preparing food, and she was cutting onions, and she was crying, but she wasn't crying because she was cutting onions. She was crying because she realized there was nobody coming to save her. She was the only thing that her 3 children had, being a single mother on North Side St. Louis. And even if she gave us her all, she still didn't give enough, if that make any sense. So that the poem, Did You Think a Black Woman Today, came from seeing all the Black women that I know in my life not be thanked by everybody for what they contribute. And so that's where this poem came from. Okay. If I go out, somebody say something because I don't see you, and I have my poem up big enough so I can see it.
Okay.
That's when you know you're getting old. Like, where am I looking?
It is not old, it's seasoned.
Seasoned. Well, I'm getting vintage over here. All right. So this poem is called Did You Think a Black Woman Today? Dear Black man, has your tongue formed the words thank you? Have you set your pride aside and stated I don't know everything? Have you watched Mother Earth words fall from the lips of a queen, cut her eyes and announce that God gave birth to the universe? Can you recognize a queen upon the vision of hope? Essential question. Did you think a Black woman today? Because I highly fucking doubt it. You're too arrogant in your stance. Think you created everything, placed your God complex above her love because of your insecurities. Can you recognize her security? Screaming over your body, looking policemen in the eyes and screaming, you won't dare touch my son. Have you carved out a space to protect your daughter's tongue? Tell her that she's not less than a man, but more than the advancement of one, that she is in fact greater than all things, more than a queen, black on top of black, the touch of blessings rise from her fingertips. She prayed in the middle of the night for your ascending, took lashes with you, voted with you, stood up in America and said, see me, the last one on the ladder, the last one to be called beautiful, the last one to be chosen. Did you think a Black woman today? I highly doubt it. Tell her that she's beauty is enough. Give her your mother's prayer. Fight for her. Refuse to allow someone to disrespect her. Do you believe what's on the news? Have you worshiped the God inside of her? Have you told her that she is a masterpiece? What is a Mona Lisa when you have a Nefertiti sitting on the throne? How nothing moves unless she gives command. How you are everything to everyone and nothing to yourself. Did you think a Black woman today stood erect when she walked past, ran for the door because the queen doesn't open anything but a third eye? Dear white women, did you think a Black woman today? Because I highly doubt it. Did you allow her to be part of your feminist movement, or did you make her take a back seat? Acquiesce to your command, use her love for your ascending, backstab her in corporate America. She's reminded how many of you don't love her consistently, how Master loved her and left you sitting alone. As soon as your husband don't trust her, you drop her. You only feminist for white women issues. You only agree with her when it benefits you. You only feminist when she's the step stool to your success. You don't thank Black women. You make her choose between being Black and her woman. You disguise your success as hers. She kicked ass and voting booths for you to benefit from nothing. She would never be privileged and white. Also, always be second tier to your man bashing. When you are done, she would have built your place. She would have built your palace on the back of her army. So did you think a Black woman today? I highly fucking doubt it. Your accomplishments will only be heard in her silence. You will silence her, secretly pray she goes back to Africa. After her, you will attack her publicly, scream at her interjections, cut her off in front of her superiors, get mad at her for siding with her Black. In fact, her Black will be too strong for you. Her cup of tea you can't take. You will be a coffee drinker. who always prefer your cream. She will flaunt her blackness too strong. You will complain about her natural hair and her do-rags. Her body won't fit the office stylings of your projection. You will project because you detect too many heads following her. When she walk past, men will bow or pass out. She be too powerful. She be too strong. She be too brilliant. How dare she be beautiful, bold, and black? Attack her, I say. But did you think a black woman today? I doubt it. The same one shoulders who you cried on when a man was promoted over you. Someone who tortured you, told you how to move, tutored you, showed you how to move. You will steal her will and her looks, and they will call you exotically beautiful by calling her dark skinned and ugly. She taught you the game, and you will play her every single time. Dear white man, did you thank a black woman today? Did you appreciate her politics, her silencing your attack, her cleaning up of your bullshit, her surrendering to your touch to save her sons, her nanny to your bastard children, her wife to your wifeless home, her little something something to your perversions? Did you hold her as you killed her husband? Did you hold her as you killed her husband? Give her fear in the place of love, beat her, rape her, never stood up for her, go along with the good old boys when she comes up for promotion? How dare she think she deserves more than the crumbs that we throw on the floor for her? Take credit for all of her ideas. Steal her brilliance and disguise it as white man privilege. Did you remind her how much she's covered for you, called you wife in your masquerade of rendezvous, let you cry on her shoulders when life became crash? You treat her as if you don't need her. You treat her as if you don't need her. You speak to her as if you don't desire her. You promote her as if she's not more qualified than you. So did you thank a black woman today? I highly fucking doubt it. Dear child, did you thank a black woman today? Go to work and struggle just to get paid, grieved over your behavior, had teachers thinking you didn't know any better, cried for you. She know what you face, scrub those dirty clothes over bathtubs, hands bleed for you. She makes sure you show up looking your best, even when she wasn't the best. It was her best. She made sure you showed up looking your best, even when it wasn't the best. It was her best. Gave you everything. Told you you are a king or a queen. Stand up for yourself. Fight back, but you didn't know every time she walked out the door, she had to fight back against the world who tells her she's nothing. Tell her that she always will be number two, but she believes in you. Take second job to make sure you are in activities. Make sure lights be on and gas be hot. Make sure you well taken care of. She's a better mother than her mother ever was, but you will stand up in her face and tell her what she hasn't done for you. Give her hell, make her bow to you, make her scream for your time, make her run behind you, you ungrateful human, spawn of Satan. How dare you be unforgiving to her wrong decisions for all of the right reasons for you? Did you look her in the eyes and see her struggle? So did you thank a black woman today? I highly doubt it. Dear black woman, did you forgive yourself today? Did you look in the mirror and love yourself? Did you put the oxygen mask on yourself first and save yourself? Did you dance in the sun to save your sons? Did you dance in the sun to save your sons? Did you stop breathing? Let the tears of doubt fall. Collect the small pieces of God you left within others. Did you embrace the God in yourself? Sit in the middle of a field and pick flowers. Laugh without restriction. Run bath water and soak in your greatness. Break the chains attached to your womanhood. Roar at the top of your lungs. Have you not begged them to see you today? Demand the room without judgment. Did you allow yourself to be strong in your vulnerability, to be vulnerable in your strength, to rock your afro, your braids, your extensions to your extensions? Did you put your black woman on your tongue and speak life to your mirror? Did you believe in your power? Do you believe in your wonder, your grace, your tears, your fearlessness, your hopes, your dreams, your power, your excellence, your resilience, your motherfucking dopeness, your motherfucking dopeness? Did you thank a black woman today? Well, you should. Well, you should, because all of who you are is not something I highly fucking doubt. And that's that.
Woo!
Poet.
Man. Woo! We got some heavy hitters tonight, y'all.
Yeah, for real. Y'all here killing it.
Wow.
Hopefully y'all
Woo,
can hear
all
me.
set. I can hear you.
Hopefully y'all can hear me because my microphone's jacked up.
Okay. Now, do we have to ask you where that come from? You already said your mom.
And not just my mother, I get so frustrated. Like even as a black man, in my own privilege, I get so frustrated when I hear people. I heard Cicely Tyson say, she was doing an interview one day and she was describing black women in this country. And she said on the rungs of things, you have white men, white women, black men, black women. And she said the strength of black women come from being on the bottom, holding on to that ladder, knowing that you never gonna make it to the top, but your strength come from being able to hold on and still uplift everybody that's above you without pulling yourself up. So when I heard Cicely Tyson say that at 90, that brought me to tears because all the black women I know do that. They love us past ourselves, and we haven't, as a society, we haven't appreciated that as of yet. So.
Well, you know, we got a organization called African African National Women's Organization, ANWO, and there's some bad women, some bad black women, baby. Yeah.
Leaders.
Yep, leaders. There are many women in leadership in this organization, and that's no joke, and they are no joke. I'm gonna tell you, each and every one of them. Floyd Boykin Jr. I think I see you now.
I'm up in here.
Come back to the computer.
I'm at my home. I'm cooking. I'm making my son some food.
I'm glad to have you in this quarantine poetry event.
I'm gonna do something soft, man. Something gentle. This piece is something I kind of been working on a little bit. It's kind of rugged, but I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's called a Goddess Fragrance. Can y'all hear that? She smells like I envisioned parasite to be. Placed me in a hypnotic state every time her fragrance crosses my nasal space. Your wish is my command. That's what I would be thinking. But I blink and try to turn the other way so she doesn't catch me slipping or tripping as I continue dipping into her heavenly scent. And I hope that me being disoriented isn't evidence because I never want her to feel uncomfortable around me. Plus, I need her to keep coming around because her scent is like a drug. Oh, please, just give me one more hit. Oh, please, just give me just one more hit. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to her essence, her poetic aroma that places me in a trance as I slow dance with her perfume, and it takes me hours for me to resume my sanity, and I'm rather okay with that. I actually look forward to it. I wish I could bottle it up and sit on my desk and talk to it. We would have a beautiful conversation, and I'm serious about that. We would talk about the peace that she brings when she gives temporary relief to painful things. If heaven had a smell, your fragrance would be it. You ignite my internal flame on creativity. Oh, here she comes again. Oh, please, just give me just one more hit. Oh, please, just give me just one more hit. That's it, y'all. That's that piece.
Hey, all right.
That
Oh,
was
ukulele.
Black man ukulele.
Okay, where
just
that
trying
piece
to
come from?
do a little bit something different. What'd you say?
Where that piece come from?
You know
What
me,
brought
man.
it
My
to
stuff just be just life, man. You know, just start thinking about something and it just start, you know, constructing in my head, and a piece come out of it. It's not necessarily connected to an individual. So I just once I get a vibe, I just start writing.
All right.
But I've been trying to do with my poetry, you know, I'm just trying to add a little bit more to it by incorporating musicianship in there from my violin with my ukulele, a mandolin, and I got this Chinese violin called the erhu, and just trying to do something a little different, you know, just a little bit more exciting for myself, because I've been doing this for, you know, a while, and just kind of, you know, just trying to challenge it.
What was that other instrument you said?
The erhu.
What is that?
Some people call it a Chinese violin. It's a two-string instrument. Looks like it could be what some people call it a stick fiddle. You know,
Okay.
so but you know, so it's pretty cool, man. The Chinese use it a lot actually, but they tend to get almost what a violinist will get off of 4 strings. They almost do it in 2. So
That's dope.
Yeah. Okay, tell us how we can get in touch with you, well, no. Next is my comrade, Miss Offset.
okay. So my name is Offset Shakur, and I am I'm from New York. This poem, where is it? Where is it going? Give me 1 second. Okay. Really, I think I'm tired of writing poetry. I'm tired of people knowing me. I am tired of sharing my heart for the sake of art. I just want to start a revolution. See my enemy's execution, feel real retribution, come up with a solution that'll kill the need for greed so that we can proceed with nature's evolution. I should be with my seeds, planting seeds, doing deeds that'll make demons tremble. Not on Tumblr, not on your timeline, looking like fine wine. I don't need you drunk off my spirit. When its truth comes, don't you fear it or turn your head not to hear it. I was born a revolutionary. I don't understand this slave shit. I've been here before. I probably was thrown overboard a slave ship. I can't be held at the hip or manipulated in the mind, and that's probably why I find frustration so frequently. There's no such thing as too deep for me, but the struggle is real and I can't chill. I need a comrade who will kill for me. Say fuck the new deal with me. Turn back like Harriet back and clap at anybody who don't feel for me. But this ain't a bill for me. This is work for we. Because even niggas in Paris know Kamala Harris don't want them free, but I'm tired of writing poetry. But maybe this ain't poetry. Maybe this is truth that we can't speak in groups because they'll call us gangs and have us hang like strange fruit. But I'm tired of writing poetry.
Man.
Whoa!
That,
Whoa!
New York.
Whoa!
I love New York. What borough are you in?
Ooh, I'm in Queens. Queens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That poem I wrote during the what was it? I think it was the Black is Back mobilization in December. And I wanted to say that poem tonight because we lost a comrade today, Nicola, out of New York. And that was one of her favorite poems that I wrote. I wrote it and I shared it with her that day because I was supposed to recite it, but I didn't. But I shared it with her and she really loved it, so I wanted to say that. Yeah. So that's why I said that poem.
Sorry to hear about your mom.
Yeah, that's all of our loss.
You know, I just wanted to say this. You know, I being from a place where I'm listening to what you're saying as far as I'm tired of writing poetry. And I remember a point at which it was also a catalyst to me coming into organization where I just felt like, you know, these words are just words. These words are not mobilization. These words are not doing anything. These words are not moving people to where we, you know, where we need to be. And you know, there was a time when I identified just kind of as a poet, but there came a point where I didn't want to anymore. So your piece really resonates in that, you know, in that sense that, you know, I'm tired of just living inside of words. I need to feel something more. I need to see something more. I need to, you know, I don't need to go to another slam or see another anybody get up on stage. And I do appreciate the art form because I am a poet. But the fact of the matter is, we're not doing anything. What is it?
We don't put no action in it. Yep.
Right.
I really appreciate that piece. I do.
Thank you.
Well, you know, comrades, the one way to put action behind these words is to join an organization that's going to give you the manpower to make shit happen.
Absolutely.
I agree.
You can volunteer, you can join, or you can just be a sometime supporter. But you got to do something because this is genocide and we got kids. Mine's are grown, but I got grandkids. And I want them to have a better world than what we got now. And that's the reason I joined the organization. Okay, this piece I wrote in 2016, and it's called Birthing a Poem. I envision your silhouette capturing my assets, planning my demise through emotional sabotage, raising my pleasure meter. Holding me close, so close we become one, sharing excitement, self-contained. Oh, like, you know, to celebrate with walking in the rain, yet nothing change as we get wet. Wet tracks running through my being. I'm hurting to only see your silhouette. Feel you possess my love without allowing me my due process. I miss the late night of your early morning engorgement, exciting my imagination, calculating a way to make the sunrise stand apart and special, just to repeat the challenge tomorrow. Stroking my highest desire, claiming freedom of bondage. I breathe your essence with my tongue, tasting ecstasy dripping my delight, moving down my chin. I release all pent-up congratulations that never made it to my lips, giving freely over and over as you raise my hips to the sky, drawing me closer to the one that created me. Only in orgasm can I be with thee. You are the star I fell to earth with. Before I knew who you were. The things you command from my tenderness is unheard of. Destined from my desire to me, and from me. I don't think I can do this now. Not again. I keep coming again and again, knowing the outcome each time. You possess your passion challenge mine with an even draw. You will caress my welcome, then leave me standing for the opposite to occur next time. You keep me confused in joy. Divine is the journey we travel, entering and escaping pitfalls, placed in the minefield of our existence to explore. Grasping short spurts of perfect connections placed in the entertaining DNA science cannot duplicate. When I embrace your silhouette, we fuse, becoming a new creation. Exhaustion feel my need. Focus my greed to have you again. I make myself turn on the light to rest until next time I need to conceive a poem with you. And that's birthing a poem. That piece was created from how colonialism has made women, just women, through all times, from the time the first people were taken from Africa up until today. They've separated the families. They've broken us up. So a family that we so-called need and want is always out of our reach. Our men are being killed. Our men are in jail. Our men are being tortured. They're being belittled. So that perfect love that we want to be whole as women is a silhouette, and it's the family that we want and need and love has been destroyed by colonialism. And that's a lonely-hearted woman speaking to how she have to use her imagination to see a silhouette of someone. Really, it's her love. When she joined with that silhouette, that's how she makes giving birth to a poem, because that poem is her reaction to love. That's the damage being colonized due to us.
Okay.
The world. That's powerful. That makes me think about. I was watching a rapper perform at I'm not sure if it was an open mic that we were hosting as InPDUM, but I was watching a performance, and I was watching any performance, and it made me realize how just the expression of poetry, we're really giving birth to ourselves, and trying to do so in a way that goes beyond our condition and our circumstances. And I think that's the importance of poetry, just sometimes just being able to express or speak whatever it is that you're experiencing. Sometimes that is the act of revolution. And similar to what the sister was saying before, I just think that it's powerful, because sometimes we do think, it's just words and it's cute, but sometimes not sometimes, but it really is a powerful tool. We're giving birth to a lot of things. We're planting seeds in people's minds. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Thank you. I want to do some announcements. Well, I want everyone to tune in to our weekly O'Malley Taught Me study, which is on YouTube, Burning Spear Media, or Facebook, O'Malley Taught Me. You can subscribe to the Burning Spear and look out for InPDUM live stream following this InPDUM event. And our next event will be live streamed on Facebook. And that's a promise. Okay. We have a Musa Abantu level, which is $10 for a year, for 1 year. Our year starts over in October. I'm sorry, it's in September. Is it September or August?
What was that?
Our InPDUM's year, it's in September. It starts a new year. So our membership, they start now, like for the annual, we'll start over again at the convention, but you have an opportunity to upgrade if you wish at that time. With this genocide time that we're in, we honoring $10 membership because we know people are working to make ends meet. And like I said, you can volunteer. You can just to see what we do and how we work with our people, because everything we get goes right back into the community. And right now, like you just heard, we have 2 deaths in 1 day. 2 deaths in 1 day. And this monster that we're dealing with, it's not stopping anytime soon. At least another 3 or 4 weeks of this crap. But we're gonna make it through because we're gonna win. We are winning.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to add, just in regards to membership, and so thinking about becoming a member, I know, and this is not just for people that that share, but the people that may tune and watch. When becoming a member, we're not requiring that you commit yourself to a certain responsibility or that you have to come out and organize with us. But sometimes it's just donating or becoming a recurring member and helping financially. When I do think about donations and when I think about payments and things like that, I just think about it in the sense of currency and the fact that I think you can tell a lot about a person depending on how they spend their money. And becoming a member, deciding that you want to put your dollar towards the African Revolution, I think is a very, very, very powerful thing.
I just want to say the reason I joined organization, it too was when after they murdered Mike Brown and left his body out for 4 to 6 hours. And one of my friends from church asked me to do some poetry. And I met the chairman, I met the organization at that time, and with Makeda and Colombai. But right now, the 3 of us are only the ones that are left out of like 5 or 6. But when this was going on, I was in LA, and my phone kept going off because of what was going on at home. And I knew life was going to change forever at that point. And I didn't have any answers as to what was going on and how I was going to be able to do contribute to it. How was I going to be a part of it and make a difference? So I met the organization and I found out they were true. It was true. It wasn't a lot of fluff. It wasn't a lot of BS. It was the truth, and you take it and run with it, or you take it and leave it alone. It was always my choice, and anybody that get into this, it's your choice, and you're making a promise to your own people to bring them truth and always have their back, and liberation is the only way it's gonna happen. So that was why I joined organization, and I'm an active member. I don't just support, because you can be a supporter, you can volunteer, you can do, there's many ways to contribute, because whatever you do is not only helping yourself, it's helping the generations that following us. Well, following y'all, because y'all follow me, as in generations. But we gotta leave this world a better place for our babies. And all set? We're gonna end it up for us tonight.
Simply, like, I'm oppressed. I'm colonized, like all of us are. But one thing I realized was there is absolutely nothing on this earth that I can do by myself that will liberate African people. There's nothing. I can't get a particular amount of money. I can't gain any type of superpower. There's nothing under the sun that I can do by myself to liberate African people. And if I truly say that I'm about the liberation of African people, then I have to join an organization that is doing so. So simply, that's simply why I did that. So I want to thank everybody for coming and sharing your poetry. Definitely a powerful thing. I totally forgot that we were quarantined, I swear. So that alleviated some of that, some of those, unpleasant frequencies. But I definitely appreciate everyone, and I'm looking forward to the poetry that we'll have next week.
Quarantine poetry, comrade, and poets and soul vibe.
Oh, vibe.
Yeah.
Yes. Uhuru.